to you all. For the past 2 months, we've been talking about medical terminologies. Today's video is all about practicing what we've learned so far. If it's your first time here, kindly check the description box below. I have links to my previous videos on understanding medical terminologies. Please watch before taking today's practical test. Please don't forget to subscribe, turn on post notification bell for weekly videos, like and comment below. Today's practical test is basically on prefixes. Our first practical test word is a or an. Meaning without or absence or lack of. Example, apnea, meaning absence of breathing, or anemia, which means lack of red blood cell in the body. Our next prefix test word is dis. Meaning difficult or painful or abnormal. I guess you had it right. Example, we have dysphagia, meaning difficulty swallowing, or dysmenorrhea, meaning painful menstruation. Macro is our next test word, meaning large. Example, macromolecules, which means large molecules. Micro is our next practical test word, meaning small. You had it right. Hooray! Example, we have micromolecules. Nephro is our next practical test word, meaning the kidney. Example, nephritis, which means inflammation of the kidney. Ma is our next practical test word, meaning the muscle. Example, myalgia, which means pain in the muscle. Hyper is our next word, meaning high. Example, hyperglycemia, which means high blood sugar level. Ovule is our next practical test word, meaning the ovary. Example, we have oophorectomy, which means the removal of the ovary. Hyster is our next test word, meaning the uterus. Example, hysterectomy, which means the removal of the uterus. Cervix is our next practical test word, meaning the neck or the uterine cervix. Example, cervical cancer, which means tumor of the cervix, that is the lowermost part of the uterus. Salpingo is our next word, meaning the fallopian tube. Example, we have salpingo oophorectomy, which simply means the removal of the ovary and the fallopian tube. Cyno is our next word, which means the color blue. Example, Cyanosis, meaning bluish coloration of the skin due to poor oxygen circulation. Pulmo is our next practical test word, meaning the lung. Example, pulmonary embolism. It's actually a condition in which one or more arteries in the lungs becomes blocked by blood clots. Our next practical test word is pneumo, meaning the lungs or air sacs. Example, we have pneumonia. Pneumonia is actually an infection that inflames the air sacs in one or both lungs. Phago is our next practical test word, meaning eating, ingesting, or engulfing. Example, phagocytes, meaning cell engulfing or cell eating. Patho is our next test word, meaning disease. Example, pathology, that is the study of disease. Hemat or hemo is our next practical test word, meaning blood. Example, you have hematocyte or hemocyte, meaning blood cell. Ophthalm is our next practical test word, meaning the eye. Example, ophthalmologist, which means a person who studies the eye. Gastro is our next test word, meaning the stomach. Example, gastritis, which means inflammation of the stomach. Phleb is our next test word, meaning the vein. Example, we have phlebosclerosis, which means abnormal hardening of the vein. Erythro is our next practical test word, meaning the color red. Example, erythrocytes, meaning red blood cells. Ante is our next word, meaning before. Example, antenatal, meaning before birth. Our next practical test word is anti, meaning against or opposed to. Example, we have antibiotics, meaning against bacteria. Peri is our next practical test word, meaning around. Example, pericardium, which means around the heart. Tachy is our next practical test word, meaning fast or rapid. Example, we have tachycardia, which means fast heart rate or rapid heartbeat. Our next practical test word is supra, which means above. Example, suprapubic, meaning above the pubic bone. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, turn on post notification bell for weekly videos. like and comment below.